what's going on? So, you know why? Maybe you've never noticed before, but I add a hashtag into my posts that says one take. And I list it because I like the rawness in a world where everything is edited all the time. And you also are inundated with all of this shit about this is what's optimal, this is what's optimal. Now, do those serve a purpose? Do those guidelines serve a purpose? Absolutely. They give you some boundaries or some framework that are probably pretty good ideas off of which to work from. However, that is not, and very rarely, is what's practical for most people. Yes, we have these optimal things we should be doing. But in an effort to be raw and real with the people who actually listen to what I have to say, here's the reality. Today has been a very busy day at work. I've had a bunch of side projects I've been working on. My daughter just started at a new school, and I was working away, and it just dawned on me, shit, I've got to get my workout done, and I have to pick her up in about an hour and 15 minutes. So anyway, right now I have 30 minutes to get to her school. So with traffic, hopefully I'll make it. But anyway, my point with this is that I had to finish this document and get it submitted. So I got that done. And normally I go through a 10 to 15 minute warm up and do all these nice stretches and stuff to help me get loosened up a little bit. But you know what? If I had done that, I wouldn't have gotten any actual training done. So when you get in that discussion of optimal versus practical, here's a real world example. Is I did a few warm ups with the bar and then progressed in a set or two, and then got right into my training session. So my training session was 5 sets of 3 with snatches, 3 sets of 5 on snatch grip deads, 3 sets of 5 on push press, and 3 sets of 3 on front squat. And I got all of that done in 25 minutes. That includes the very few warm-ups that I did. So that is a real world, real life, practical example. Now, the difference between doing things like that versus people who come in and smash themselves every day, well, number one, that's not sustainable. But number two is I was able to get not as intense in terms of load on the bar that I would have liked to have done. But I'm also one of those people that understands the long-term effects of not adjusting. I've made those mistakes. So over the years, I will use I'll use a plan as a guide. You know, the numbers that I input, you know, they may plus or minus based on the day. They may flex a little, and that's fine. But due to that, I can have an increased frequency by which I train, and I don't need to have the huge, hard training sessions that are going to leave me fucked up and wrecked for days. Because if I'm messed up, then I can't actually get any enough frequent training sessions in to really drive the point home of what I'm willing to want and what I'm willing and wanting to do. Because I believe in having flexibility and mobility through a huge range of motion, as opposed to being extremely limited in what I'm able to do or not do. Because I see some of these guys who, they put up some great numbers with one of the big 4 lifts, you know, when you're talking between squat, bench, dead, overhead press. But a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them fail to actually train their mobility and flexibility and stability through all ranges of motion, and they're extremely limited in what they can do. So one suggestion I'd have for you is to look at your average intensity that you're knocking out within a week, slowly creep that up over time, but first establish the frequency. Increase the frequency first, and then that average intensity on the bar will creep up over time. So just a couple thoughts there, but yeah, when it comes to real world practicality, getting something in that's not perfect, it will never be perfect, is far superior than to not doing anything. So anyway, get out there and train, follow some sort of plan, some sort of guide, and I challenge you to actually follow that for 4, 6, 8, maybe even 10 weeks before you tweak anything. Because a lot of people, it's still the new year, it's the 8th right now, are gonna do what's called program hopping. They'll start a program, they'll run it for maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then they'll get bored, or they'll think something needs to change when it doesn't, or they're impatient, and then they'll switch again, and then they'll switch again, and then they go on this merry-go-round of program hopping, and they never fully realize the potential of the program because they're impatient. So anyway, find a program you want to try out, give it a try, and then note the results, see what happens. Anyway, if you have any questions, be sure to shoot me a DM, comment below. You can also email me directly, Travis@dhpcoaching.net. Talk to you later.